Thanks for stopping by. My name is Peaches. I am just a girl daring to take on risk while navigating a new life out here in the countryside of northeastern Ontario, Canada. Hello, friends. Welcome back to my kitchen. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I have been busy peeling some pineapples. I bought them and I put them to ripen. Like, I think I lost 2 out of the 6. Yeah, but you saw what I just did. I cut the top and then I cut the bottom. My intention right here is to show you the easiest way to peel your pineapple. So cut the bottom, the top, and then cut the bottom. And then put it to stand like that. And then just go ahead and peel down the sides. Now, usually when we are peeling pineapple, or when we peel pineapple back home in Jamaica, we would use the rind or the skin or the peel to make pineapple juice. But I don't know. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my kitchen. Thank you so much for being here. You wouldn't know what just happened. Now, I peeled 5 pineapples and I saved this one because I wanted to show you guys the easiest way I have found to peel my pineapple. What I was saying actually is that we generally use the rind, or what we call the skin, to make pineapple drink. However, because I don't know what's on the skin or the rind of this pineapple or pineapple in general, when I buy them here in North America, I don't do that. I just toss the peel out, right? And so, yeah, I cut across, turn it around, cut again. And so I have 4 pieces, put it to stand, and then go ahead and cut out the core. Now the core is chock full of bromelain, and so it's good to eat it, and I'm actually going to use it to make a ferment, and I'll show you how I do that. I'm going to use the pineapple actually to do 3 different pineapple products. So I have 3. That means there is one that has not been cut. Which one is it? I cut that. They all look like they've been cut. Is it this one? They all look like they've been. Oh, I have 4 here. Yeah. Okay. So we are gonna go ahead. I have the rest of my pineapple that I peeled earlier here. Oh, here is the rest of the core of the pineapple that I peeled earlier on. And as I said before, I am going to do a ferment with them. Or I'm going to ferment the pineapple core, right? Now, if you trust your pineapple rind, then you can go ahead and add the rind in. But I don't know where these have been. I don't know what they've put on them. So I'm just going to toss them. Okay, so there are 2 ways that you could ferment this. I think there is a Spanish version of fermenting pineapple that's called tapache, and that you use sugar, right? Otherwise, you can ferment using salt. And I am trying to figure out which one of the fermentation I want to do. Okay, so I have gathered some ingredients here, and in this jar I'm gonna add the pineapple chunks and just a little less than a half a jar. I'm gonna go ahead and add the same amount in this one, and if I have a little left over, I'm just gonna go ahead and share it between the two. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Now the next thing I am gonna do is add a couple of cloves to each. This is a half a dozen cloves. And then I'm gonna get a cinnamon stick and I don't want to overpower the mixture, so I'm just gonna break in half, add them, and then to this one jar I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of sugar. And I am actually going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of pickling salt. I just like to add a little salt to whatever I do, because salt does help to stop bad bacteria from growing, right? And then I'm gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt to this one too, since I have the salt open, or yeah, since I have the salt open, what am I thinking? And actually, I'm gonna add more than a 1/4 teaspoon here. Actually, for this one, I'm gonna add, that's a 1/4. And you want to use pure salt, and that is why I'm using pickling salt. You don't want any salt with additive. That's a half. Another half, that's 1 teaspoon. So I'm adding 2 teaspoons of salt to this. I am gonna go ahead and add my water. I need to get water for this one. I am using filtered well water. So this is a ferment. This one is using pure salt. This one is sugar. I just added a little salt to it, but it's a sugar ferment. Now, what I am going to do is, instead of putting the lid on, I am going to put coffee filters on. And I am going to put them in my cupboard out of direct. Make sure they're out of direct light. Now, it's also good to have them in a warm place. Today is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so I'll let them go ahead and do their thing until Friday. So that's 4 cups. Not so sure this is gonna be enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and make twice as much. I need to filter water for my jars. Okay, so that's 4 more cups now. And this doesn't have to boil. We just need to get the sugar to dissolve. Okay, there we go. If you're gonna use them for like a pineapple upside down or something, it would be nice to get them in rings, but it doesn't matter. You can use pieces like this to make pineapple upside down still, right? So if you wanted to make pineapple upside down at a later date, then you cut them on the thinner side. Okay, so I have 2 more recipes that I want to do, as I mentioned, and so rest of the pineapple here I am going to, oh, this needs some attention. I am going to cut them smaller. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna cover this because I'm gonna run downtown with my hubby. When the sugar melts, I am going to go ahead and turn the burner off because the sugar, the syrup doesn't have to be hot when it's going in the jars. Okay, so there's one recipe where you can actually boil the apples, right, the pineapples in the simple syrup, or as we would say back home in Jamaica, the sugar and water. But I prefer just to go ahead and pack them in the jars and then put the syrup on them, right? Because you are going to be processing them anyways, and so during that process they are going to get cooked. To a certain extent, not, you get what I mean. What I want are some apples, man. Okay. There we go. This here. Sugar is almost dissolved, and I'm just going to rinse these out. Okay, I'm trying to see if there are any seeds. I need to take the seeds out. Take the seeds out. Take the seeds out. Okay, I'm gonna put these in here. The amount of lemon I have here, I think I could have some more pineapples. Okay, my friends, I am back from downtown. Very late, but yeah, we're gonna get these pineapples canned. Okay, so my syrup here is warmed. I turned on the burner so it could warm up the syrup, and I actually decided to put some ginger. I'm just gonna chop the ginger roughly in a couple of the jars. For maybe 6 of the jars. 6 jars. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the ginger in. Ginger and pineapple drink. Put just a tiny bit of salt in it because I can. It's less than a quarter teaspoon of salt. Let's do these ones first. Okay, now I need my spoon, and I'm gonna go ahead and release the air from the jars. Before I cover these jars, I am gonna go ahead and get water in this pot to process them. So I'm gonna start with hot water from the tap. Okay. Okay, let's wipe these babies. I have been learning quite a bit, watching a lot of these canning shows, right? And so whatever I learn, I put to practice. Use common sense also, right? Finger tight. Resistance, turn a little more. Resistance, turn a little more. The one thing I haven't tackled yet is pressure canning. And I do have my pressure canner, so I'm gonna get there one day. One day, maybe one day soon. Okay, so another thing I want to make is, gotta wait for the water to warm up and then I'll start putting the jars in. Another thing I want to make is, that's my water, just a little sugar in there, and then turn on the burner. I'm gonna put the sugar. Okay, I am gonna let this mixture come to a boil, and then after it comes to a boil, I'm gonna go ahead and set my timer for 6 minutes and let it boil for 6 minutes. Now my sugar and water have come to a boil. I'm going to set my timer for 6 minutes and let it boil for 6 minutes. Okay, so the pot is ready for some jars. So I'm going to go ahead and try to fit 6 jars in. Covered, and when it comes to a vigorous boil, I'm gonna go ahead and set it to boil for 25 minutes. And I'm doing 25 minutes instead of 20 because I am above 1,000 feet above sea level. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead now and I'm gonna add my lemon and my pineapple. Just gonna turn this down a wee bit. And then I'm gonna let this come to a boil, and after it comes to a boil, I am gonna go ahead and let it boil for another 40 minutes. Okay, so this is what's going on over here. The marmalade is still cooking down, and it had about 18 minutes left on the timer. However, this has started boiling now. So I have turned it back to 25 minutes. So it's 25 minutes for my jars here. And I'm doing 25 minutes because they are quarts. I would have done 20 minutes if they were pint. Okay? And so I'm gonna let the marmalade go ahead and cook for the same 25 minutes. Unless of course it's drying out. Then I will pull it. But otherwise, I want the pineapples to be reduced and kind of mashed out, so I'm actually using a masher to help to mash the pineapple pieces out. One more thing, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I put my jars in and I didn't remember to put the rack in, so I had to pull out the jars and put the rack in the bottom, because it's always good to have either a rack or a towel in the bottom of your pot. Something between the bottom of the pot and your jars. So that's canned pineapple drink, pineapple marmalade, and pineapple slices. Along with me as I plan flower and veggie gardens, take on home and garden DIYs, go thrifting for clothing, home goods, and yes, food. Experiment with me, learn and use new and traditional ways to preserve and cook produce from my garden, farmers market, and grocery store.